Hi, everybody. Um, I'm getting ready to do some hair videos here. Rebecca has agreed to be my somewhat willing model. And I'm going to start with the one for Cori, who she is an extra lost boy. I know exactly who she is. So, and with these hairstyles, I'm giving them here both so I can kind of finalize in my mind what's being done, and also so that you guys can do them at home in advance, which should delay how early you have to be at the theater. In the meantime, so Cori is going to do, can you even see it? Not really. No, you can't. So never mind, that won't work. Cori's going to do a version of what I'm about to do. So all she's going to need is her hairbrush, a half donut, which I think I have a blonde one, but I've got tons of brown donuts, but I think I have a blonde one as well. Some hairpins and little hair things here. So if you don't have any, if you're missing some of these items, then I have some that I can give you to use. And all of you may find that spraying the hair with a little bit of hairspray and then brushing it in, it might make it a little bit easier to work with, especially if you have thinner hair or finer hair, something like that, because you can just add some texture. But for right now, we're going to see how we can do with Rebecca's without doing that, since we're getting to go on a marathon of hairstyles. And so it's better if we can avoid it. So we're going to start with just taking a front section, maybe 3 or 4 inches wide. And
keep in mind, this is my mom's first time doing this hairstyle.
Yeah, so I may make mistakes as we go along. Who knows, we may end up totally and completely deleting this video. We'll see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and use the half donut because we're wanting to give a little extra height. And so that's what's going to kind of determine how much hair you need to use. So like for Rebecca, I need a little bit more hair to come over here on the sides to hide that donut because I really don't want to see it. And she's got a little bit finer. She's got very slippery hair. So again, your own hair's qualities could change how you have to do it. But okay, right there, that does a fairly good job of giving her some height in here. And I think we've got the donut fairly well camouflaged. So then go ahead and let's have you shift to the side just a little bit. Go ahead here and pull in. We're going to go ahead and do just a French braid back. Huh?
You're going to pin the donut?
No, I'm not. I'm going to French braid the donut in and see if that works. That's what I'm hoping I'm doing. We'll find out. Okay, so just pick up some hair from either side, going backwards, not really adding to the width, but just going further back, and just start French braiding it around that donut. And I guess if you want to, you can pin the donut in. I'm lazy. I didn't want to. So we'll see what happens. And I am not a fast French braider. What is that behind me? Nonsense. So there we go. Nothing like kicking bathroom furniture out of the way. Okay. And this is for the Lost Boy hairstyles. Neatness is not a big deal. I have a hard time with that. Mentally, I like to make everything super, super neat, and I usually use I usually use a comb and everything for all of it. Yeah. And that slows me down. But right now, we're really, our goal is actually having it a little bit messy because you're lost boys and you've been on this island and no one's going to take time doing fancy, fun things with your hair. You're just throwing it up, getting it out of your way, having fun messing with each other's hair, things like that, the kind of stuff that young girls tend to do when they're bored. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that back. Kind of open to how far you decide you want to take it back. Let's look here and see. I think we might be about far enough. Yeah. So I'm taking it. Turn her head. I'm just taking it to right here. So we've got all this coming back, which as she puts her head up is about midway down. And then I'm just going to braid it down. And most of the styles that I'm having everybody do is stuff that's truly up, because I'm wanting to kind of take into account the fact that we're doing this in July and have everyone as cool as possible. But this particular one will do kind of a combination of braids and it's just stuff hanging, I think. That's the current goal. Because we didn't have enough stuff stuffed into this bathroom, our 85-pound, rather tall dog has come in here to say hello and see what we're up to.
Yeah, and the cat's on my lap, so lots of animals.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and tie that one off. Those little rubber band ones, you usually only have to bring them around a couple times. You don't have to do a whole lot. Pull them in here so you guys can see. So then go ahead in here and pick another one. Since we're trying to pull things away from the face just to keep things cooler, go ahead and plan on, if you're able to do, what is it called again? Yeah, if you're able to do a Dutch braid, do a Dutch braid. I can do it if I try really hard, but it'll take me way too long. So I'm just going to regular French braid it. And if you're not able to do the Dutch braid, then just do regular French braid. But just for sake of ease and speed for me right now, I'm just going to do the French braid. And actually, yeah, this could be a cool place to do a one-sided French braid. So to do a one-sided French braid, just pull in hair from the top, not the bottom. Oh yeah, I like that effect. So if you end up doing the French braid, just do from where you're pulling it from the top. Because that gives it a cool effect. And like with Rebecca's hair, her hair is not really thick. It's long and slick, but it's not super thick. And so, which is weird because it takes forever to dry. But this way, it gives her a little more hair to work with for the next round of French braid stuff. And so, let's see. So I'm going to take it to about the same length as the other one was. And then I'll braid that down. And we might need to do the deal where we pause the video and then start it up again. No, I'm just going to do this side, I think, and then I'll pause it to do the other side so we can let them have a full look then, but not torture everybody with such.
Well, we've already tortured them for a minute.
Oh, wow. So we're going to be doing a series of videos, and we're going to post them all individually, or else my internet will never, ever, ever in a million years get it up there. So. Okay. And just take the braid however far down you want to. I'm not taking it all the way down, mostly because of time. But I would probably take it most of the way down if I was doing her hair actually for the show. Okay, so here again, take this remaining bit and start that braid. And we'll just again, I'm sorry, baby. Just pull from the top. Don't bother with pulling anything. And so that just, in case you don't know, that just means just collect new hair at the top. At the bottom, just use the old hair that you already have. We should be able to get most of it away from her face that way. And see, this is where you discover the messy braid elements that aren't good, which is those little pieces that aren't going where I want them. Okay. So I'm just kind of going back here a little bit. Another piece of furniture that needs to be relocated. Ah! I don't even know what that one's doing. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, I know that one. Yeah, no, it's just in the wrong spot. Don't make it again. I know. Okay, far enough. I'm done with that. Okay, so at this point, this half of her head, it just has a little bit of hair and several braids. So you can see there, and then you look at it as there. That's the half of her head. So you can leave that. If you want to have a little bit hanging, you can do that. Or you can then go in and grab what is left of that hair. There's a few wisps, that's okay. You can caught in the earlier braids. And you can go ahead and braid the little bit that's left. And so you'll end up then with just a bunch of braids over here. And like I just discovered a wisp that was hiding, so I just incorporated it where I found it. I'm not too worried about it because, again, we aren't going for super neat with this. We're just going for an effect. Okay. And I'm going to be nice and pause, and I'm going to do the rest of her head so that, is it cooperating? Yeah. And I'll do the rest of her head, and we'll play it again when I've got it done. Okay, so she's going to turn. I finished braiding her hair. As you can see, we've got these two side ones, the main middle one, and then that little extra one in the center. So we ended up with a total of 6 braids. It looks kind of cool in the back, but it'll all be off her neck, just not creating a lot of heat. So one of the things that we were talking about as we were working with this is a pretty extreme jump for Rebecca's hair because it's pretty darn smooth, and Cori's is like that too. So we've got a couple of things. One, you can go in and see if you can loosen up this braid a little bit. The other one is that the donut, you don't have to use all of it. You can just use part of it and just kind of cut it in half. And
unroll it.
Yeah, unroll it and cut it. So I'm actually going to see if I can get it out of here right now and see what happens also if we just do that. And that will probably also depend on the hair. But yeah, it's coming. Okay, so that's Rebecca's hair with it like that.
A little messy, but okay.
Well, it's a little bit, but if we were to hairspray it, that actually wouldn't be that bad. But as you see, these donut things, you can undo them. So we could just figure out however much that you need to do it, and then Let's see if I can shove it back in there to give us some of that effect. Yeah, see? So I have a thing hanging out the side, but you wouldn't do that part. We would actually cut it for you. But that's just enough to keep it stable and keep it up so that we have a little bit of height to it, but nothing else. And Rebecca's hair, again, because it's so darn slick, it tends to look neat even when it's been put up kind of messy, which is kind of a cool thing, but not exactly what we're going for here. But we make up the difference with all of these braids that where there's hair flying out, and I have a few strands that here that didn't get done and whatever. So you just kind of do what works with your hair to help give that effect. But that's the general look we're going for, and that's for Cori. And I'm going to stop it because they're already at 16 minutes. So we will post this and label it as Cori, and I will post a new one for the next one. So good luck. Let me know if you have questions.